Guys, can you hear me? Hello, good evening.
Yes, teacher, we cover 4 exercises.
Okay, so now we're gonna practice with 2 more, okay? And then we're gonna check our answers. Okay, I'm gonna share the answer key and we will check together. Okay, so let's wait for a little bit for the rest of your partners and we will start. Okay, guys, I think we can start. So let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen now. Can you see my screen? Guys, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see your screen, teacher.
Okay, I have shared with you the link with which we're gonna practice today, okay? Please go there. Tell me if you were able to find to access it, please. We'll start here. Whenever you can access, please tell me. Okay, were you able to access the document?
Yes. Yes. Yes, teacher.
Okay. So now it is time for you to start with the practice, okay? Recording number 5 and recording number 6. Although you may want to work with recording number 7, you won't be able to do it, right? Because it doesn't contain a listening recording. So please, let's start with number 5 and 6 first, okay? And then we're gonna practice with 7. So you're gonna start, please. Number 5 and number 6. I'm gonna give you the time. And then we're gonna check our answers, okay? After practicing with exercise number 7, of course. So let's do it. I'm gonna set a timer. And remember, if it is a conversation, 9 minutes. If it is a lecture, 10. You can start now, guys. Okay, Carolina, I think you have just joined the session, right?
Yes.
Okay, I am sending you the link with which you're gonna work. Click on it, and whenever you're there, tell me, okay? You have to work on exercises 5 and 6, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. ¿Pollito de qué? Ah, ya. No, que es macho. Quiero que es un machita. No, sino que me han dejado pues que es mucho más. Okay, guys, time's up. Tell me, were you able to finish?
Not yet, teacher.
Okay, how much time do you need? You have
10 minutes more, please.
10 more minutes. Okay, why? What happened? What about the rest? Only one person has spoken. Were these exercises more difficult than the previous ones?
No, they weren't.
Okay, and why do you need more time then?
Because my mom was talking and I couldn't hear the audio that well.
Okay, I understand. What about the rest? Only Carlos has spoken.
Yes, I do need more time too. The record number 6 was kind of difficult for me to understand.
Okay, thank you. What about the rest? Carolina? Marines? Bonnie?
A few more minutes finishing.
Okay, let's do the following. I'm gonna give you 5 more minutes, okay? And then we're gonna start with recording number 7, okay? So please, you can continue. 5 more minutes then. Okay, guys, time's up. Now it is time for you to continue practicing with exercise number 7, okay? Don't worry, if you were not able to finish with exercises number 5 and 6, you will have extra time, okay? So now pay attention, okay? Exercise number 7, please. This is the answer key, sorry. Okay, exercise number 7. Here are the questions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions, okay? So you may have noticed that, well, in this exercise, you are not allowed to listen to the recording. There is no link or listening recording to listen to, right? Because, as I told you before, this is a practice. With previous exercises, you had a chance to listen as many times as you want, right? But now in this exercise, you will only be able to listen once, okay? So please have your notes ready and let's start. This is the listening recording. Pay attention, please. And please tell me if the sound is good.
America's finest modern female poets, Sylvia Plath. At the time of her death in 1963, Sylvia...
Guys, is the sound good?
Yes.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. Okay, so let's start. Pay attention, please. You will only be able to listen once, okay? So have your notes ready. Let's start.
Today, we're going to look at the life and some of the works of one of America's finest modern female poets, Sylvia Plath. At the time of her death in 1963, Sylvia Plath was on the verge of the critical success and recognition that she had sought for most of her life. Her first novel, The Bell Jar, had just been published, and the publication of her collection of poems, Ariel, had just been agreed. These poems, which were mostly written during the last year of her life, chronicle the traumatic developments taking place in her personal life and were to make for her a reputation as a first-rate poet. But it wasn't until 1982, almost 20 years after her death, that her posthumously published Collected Poems won the Pulitzer Prize for Literature. Since this time, the fascination and intrigue with her work has continued to grow. Very few modern poets have captured the popular imagination as much as Plath, even to the extent that in 2003, a movie was made about her life and her intense relationship with husband and fellow poet Ted Hughes. To understand the continued growth in interest in her work, we have to look at the issues which her life and work address. As Susan Bassnett writes in her book on women writers, dying as she did in 1963, Sylvia Plath never knew that so soon afterwards, the problems of what and how women write was to become such a crucial matter and was to be debated by so many other women. So Sylvia Plath was a woman writing about women's issues before they were recognized as being of any importance. Sylvia Plath was born in Robinson Memorial Hospital in Boston, October 27, 1932. She was the firstborn child of Otto and Aurelia Plath, both highly educated academic people. Her father, Otto, was a professor of biology at Boston University, but her mother had been subjugated into a domestic role as housewife, despite her level of education. Her father was not too pleased with the birth of his daughter and demanded that his wife have a son within the next 2 years. Amazingly enough, his wife obliged by giving birth to a son almost exactly 2 years later. This domineering father figure became a common theme that recurred throughout Plath's writing. With the birth of her brother, Sylvia had to work much harder to win her father's attention and approval. When in 1936 Plath's father became ill, access to him became even more restricted, and Plath's main means of getting attention from her father was by achieving academic success. This meant that from an early age, she began to equate love with success. In 1940, Plath's father died, and this left the family in a very difficult financial situation. They were forced to move away from the seaside home that Plath had enjoyed so much and into a suburb of Boston, and her mother had to take a part-time job to support the family. In 1950, Plath graduated from Bradford High School and won a scholarship to Smith College. In the same year, she published a short story entitled And Summer Will Not Come Again, and a poem called Bitter Strawberries. Plath's time at Smith was difficult as she had very high expectations of herself. She wanted to achieve immaculate grades, but she also wanted to be accepted by her peers. And an important part of being accepted was being popular and dating lots of boys. This was difficult because as a scholarship girl, she only had a very small allowance to spend on clothes and going out, and each year's continued scholarship was dependent on the level of her grades. In 1953, Plath won a fiction contest sponsored by Mademoiselle magazine and was offered the opportunity to go to New York as a guest editor. She relished this opportunity to spend a month working in a professional publishing environment. But Plath returned from New York feeling exhausted, and after hearing news that her application to a creative writing course had been rejected, she fell into what was to become one of her many depressions. Today, we're going to look at the life and some of the works of one of America's finest modern female poets, Sylvia Plath. At the time of her death in 1963, Sylvia Plath was on the verge.
Okay, guys, that was the listening lecture. It was a little bit long. And one suggestion at the moment of taking notes when dealing with this kind of lectures, which are really long and provide a lot of information. Dates, okay? Write down the dates, years, specific numbers, because those are easy to forget, you know? Important information such as, I don't know, what this person did in a certain part of her life can be remembered, but dates, years, I don't know, specific moments in her life have to be written, okay? So that you do not forget. Okay, guys, now it is time for you to answer these questions, please. I will give you 10 minutes, okay? You can use that time as well to complete exercises number 5 and 6. Okay, 10 minutes from now, please, you can start. Okay, guys, time's up. Tell me, were you able to finish?
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. What about the rest?
Yes, I finished too.
Excellent. Okay, now tell me, I need to hear some comments about the 7th exercise. Was it difficult, easy? Tell me, please.
Yeah, it was kind of difficult.
Okay, what about the rest? Tell me.
Yes, I think it was a lot of information that we need to remember and try to write like the key points in order to not to forget.
Okay, good. This exercise was made for you to learn how to take notes, okay? Because when there are plenty of information, well, you have to be really careful at the moment of taking your notes, okay? So that's it for this listening practice, guys. Now I'm gonna share with you the answer key, okay? In that answer key, you will be able to see the answers and then some explanations, okay, of why certain letter is the answer and why the others are not, okay? So guys, before we go, is there any question that you may want to ask?
No, teacher.
Okay, what about the rest?
No, it's okay.
Okay. No,
Yes, I have a question.
tell me.
Is there any another listening practice in order to solve this weekend?
Okay, you want more exercises to practice?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I can provide with some of them so that you can practice more and more, okay? I can send you a
Okay.
link with that will contain some exercises for you to practice, okay?
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. The idea is that you have to practice. Any other question?
Teacher, I would like to receive it too. That link, please.
Okay, I will send it to the WhatsApp group so that everybody can have it, okay? Is that okay for you?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Any other question? No questions then. Okay. I'm gonna do the following now, okay?
Teacher, I have a question.
Tell me.
In the test, I mean, this is a question that I'm asking to myself. That the audios are American ones, or the pronunciation is British, or is a combination of both?
It could be a combination of both because you have to be ready to understand as many accents as you can. And since the most, let's say, important ones when listening to, when learning English are American and British, well, you are supposed to understand both, okay? But mostly you will find American English, okay? Maybe, I don't know, in some lectures you will have to listen and British accent, okay? But not in most of them. The majority will be American, okay? And a few will be in British, okay? It could be a combination, only American, but don't worry, it won't be only British, okay?
Okay, teacher. My question was because I thought that this TOEFL was only in British pronunciation. And where are you from, teacher?
Okay, I am from Bolivia.
So do you know the difference between the TOEFL ITP and the TOEFL IBT? Because at the end, when you finish the CBA, it's like they give you a TOEFL, but I don't know the difference. I mean, besides the structures, that because in that test we have the structure section, and I think that this in this TOEFL IBT we don't have it, only the writing, right?
Yes, the writing section. Okay, well, the difference relies on basically on, as you said, one is more focused on structures, including grammar, okay? And the other one, with which we're working now, it is more related to practice, to apply, okay? To apply the knowledge you have about the language in the skills that you have. What are the skills? Reading, listening, writing, and speaking. those 4 skills are the most important, okay? And this test that you're going to take, the test that I am preparing you to do, is more focused on those skills, okay? It is more related to applying what you have learned when learning the language, okay? That is the main difference.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, any other question? Okay, now I'm gonna share the answer key. Please do not touch anything on that, okay? It is just for you to check all your answers. And one more thing, please. Yes, I was forgetting. Please send your answers to my WhatsApp, okay? So that I can record your participation and check your attendance, okay? So please do it now. I'm gonna send the answer key to the WhatsApp. No problem. And it would be a good idea to check it out, okay? You will have an idea. And based on that, you will be able to improve. That is the point of this practice. So please send the answers, and that would be it for this session. I am releasing now let me see. I think this is the one. Okay, let me check. I'm not sure about the group in which I have to send the answer key. Let me check. Okay, 20. Okay, there is a link, guys. You can now check your answers, okay? Thanks to everybody, the ones who have sent the answers. Really appreciate. I'm gonna consider these answers at the moment of checking your attendance, okay? Now I'm gonna release the daily survey as always. And after that, you will free to leave the session, okay? Thank you for attending and participating. See you next week. Have a nice weekend, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye. ¿Me das mi pilfruit? ¿Cómo que te invito? ¿Cómo que te invito?